Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God. The Lord is one. I will be reading from Deuteronomy chapter 24. It says, starting in verse 17, do not deprive the foreigner or the fatherless of justice, or take the cloak of the widow as a pledge. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from there. That is why I command you to do this. When you are harvesting in your fields and you overlook a sheaf, do not go back to get it. Leave it for the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. When you beat the olives from your trees, do not go over the branches a second time. Leave what remains for the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow. When you harvest the grapes in your vineyard, do not go over the vines again. Leave what remains for the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt. That is why I command you to do this. The Lord loves the foreigner. He commands us to provide for them, to only go over our crops once, so that we may leave some for those who may not have any. Leviticus 19:33-34 also says, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Some of the greatest people in the Bible were foreigners. Joseph was sold into slavery in Egypt. David sought asylum among the Philistines from King Saul. Daniel was taken away into exile in Babylon. And even Jesus himself, as a small child, fled to Egypt with his parents, Joseph and Mary. Other people in the Bible migrate to other places for economic reasons. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, even Naomi traveled to distant lands because of famine. God loves the foreigner. In Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17-18 says, for the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow and loves the foreigner residing among you, giving them food and clothing. And you are to love those who are foreigners, for you yourselves were foreigners in Egypt. We were foreigners, and God accepted us, and therefore we must love foreigners just as God loves them. Hear, O Israel,